Hi guys, how are you? I have recently met an author called IAMKDK, and she has written this book, Uther. Now, something is a little bit different about this book because it's quite a long book, so I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I'm going to read a section now, and then I'm going to keep going, and then you can watch little bits of and then at the end it's the whole story. Is that all right? So this book sounds really cool. So, who is Uther? When dragons lay eggs, when dragons' eggs hatch, they have a purpose to protect and serve anyone who needs their service. From hatchlings, they grow and learn to control their flames and what to burn. Uther was a young dragon, eager to please, faster than others, always with mischief and ease. His helpful nature guided him to a different path than most. Whatever he achieved, he celebrated, but never boasted. The elder dragons watched Uther flourish into the helper, teaching others to nourish. Once he was ready, the messages started. Uther's huge heart journey was chanted. Dragons are not always able to swim. Uther learnt early and can even skim. It takes balance, skill, and lots of practice. Uther has this in abundance, and he looks gracious. Symmetry is required, taking care of his wings. Starting too fast could tear them with the pressure it brings. It's like an inner sense that comes naturally, like a duck in water, building gradually. As a young dragon practicing his flames, he fell into the lake. Others saw in horror a pointing flames. Although he had perished like others in the paths, after 15 long minutes from the waters, he did blast. In this book are a few of his adventures, never giving up or giving lectures. He lives in the caves where he's first hatched, giving his kindness attention to emails dispatched. He performs his rescues on many levels. A few people mistake dragons for being devils. A misconception in Uther's case. He is so amazing, a fearless dragon. All who meet him are praising. So that was just letting you know who Uther is. So I'm going to read chapter 1 to you now, and it's called Robbie. Robbie is only 8 years old. He can't read well, and he isn't bold. He sits alone at the back of the class. He's always looked broken like shattered glass. No one knows why he behaves this way. He's been asked by many, but refuses to say. They think it's because he has older brothers, so he has little to say and listens to others. That isn't the case. He hides things inside. He isn't really shy, but finds it easier to hide. Really? He wants to scream and shout, grab those bullies and give them a clout. They are bigger than him, and he thinks he's alone. Others feel the same, but aren't brave to moan. They all need some help to make sense of their plight. Little do they know, someone's aware and in flight. Who's in flight? Uther is a helper who gets emails all the time. He lives in North Plymore. It's like fighting crime. He's a helper indeed, but he's not for hire. He's a dragon called Uther who fights with fire. The email said Robbie at Smith's Primary needs assistance to gently learn how to give resistance. Show others how he's bold and strong. It seems his peers make him feel he doesn't belong. Uther doesn't need to pack a trunk or fill his car with full fuel so drunk. He has a little snooze and gains much strength. He has a long way to fly. He'll use his wings' length. He arrives in time as school ends. He perches high, the best view to defend. He views with his eyes as he puffs smoky flames that mixes with smoke from the chimney flames. Everyone could see a shadow as he sat on the tower. They thought they could see blue eyes glower. He searched for his charge, who was still at school. He listened for the school bell. He started to drawl. Not a usual thing for a dragon to do, but it dampened his flames. He heard the bell, waited for Robbie to appear in the frame. He squinted to find Robbie in the leaving mob, now to introduce himself discreetly, a big job. A park was not empty as Robbie trudged home. Boys were lurching and laughing at him as they roam. Uther took a chance to create an ambience unique. It usually worked, creating an ability to speak. As Robbie walked along, staring at the ground, the other boys fled as Uther's wings flapped around. Uther spoke gently and told Robbie not to be scared. I'll come to help you. Be prepared. Robbie looked up into Uther's kind eyes, the width of his wings overpowering the skies. He wasn't scared. He didn't know why. For all he knew, he could be roasted and die. Uther's large claws were offered as a step to climb on his back and his hair to be swept across his eyes as he soared over the town, throwing flames into the river, making anglers frown. He whispered, he pledged to help Robbie overcome the children who continued to make him glum. They hatched the finest kind of plan to show the bullies he was brave as a man. At night in bed, Robbie dreamt of Uther, flying so high it really was super. He'd stood firm and strong to remain. The boys had scattered, screaming as in pain. Uther arrived before breakfast, waiting on the lawn, his large head resting as he'd slept there since dawn. Robbie climbed up high, catching his lift to school, looking confident and proud. Nobody's fool. The boys who jeered stood in awe. They thought the dragon had eaten Robbie for sure. They were scared, but Robbie alone stood firm. He showed such strength, all they did was squirm. Uther smiled and gave Robbie a wink from his bright blue eyes, normally unable to blink. The story Robbie told everyone was the truth. His friend Uther had gone, but left him a tooth. And that's next time's chapter 2. Now, I really like this book, and I hope you do too. See you next time. Bye bye.